Understanding the characteristics of human body components is important when discussing musculoskeletal disorders, MSDs, in the workplace because MSDs are caused by damage to the tissues, organs, and cells that make up the musculoskeletal system. Here are brief characteristics of each. Cells, basic building blocks of living things, contain genetic material, have a plasma membrane and organelles. Tissues, groups of similar cells that perform a specific function, have a specific structure and blood supply. Organs, groups of tissues that work together to perform a specific function, have a specific structure, blood supply, and protective covering. Lineages, developmental history of cells and tissues, determined by genetics and environment, can have implications for health and disease. Understanding the anatomy of bones, cartilage, joints, ligaments, and tendons is important in understanding the causes and treatments of MSDs that affect these structures. In the workplace, ergonomic interventions and proper body mechanics can help prevent MSDs and promote worker safety and health. Here's a brief overview of the anatomy of bones, cartilage, joints, ligaments, and tendons in relation to MSD. Bones. Bones are rigid organs that form the structural framework of the body. They are made up of collagen fibers, calcium, and other minerals, and are arranged in a complex network of structures. Bones provide support, protect vital organs, and serve as attachment points for muscles, tendons, and ligaments. MSDs that affect bones include fractures, which can be caused by excessive force or trauma, and osteoporosis, which is a degenerative bone disease that can increase the risk of fractures. Cartilage. Cartilage is a tough, flexible tissue that covers the ends of bones at joints, providing a smooth surface for bones to move against each other. It also serves as a shock absorber and helps distribute pressure across the joint. MSDs that affect cartilage include osteoarthritis, which is a degenerative joint disease that causes the cartilage to wear down over time, leading to pain, stiffness, and loss of mobility. Joints. Joints are where two or more bones meet and allow for movement in the body. They are held together by ligaments and surrounded by a capsule that contains synovial fluid, which lubricates and nourishes the joint. MSDs that affect joints include rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease that causes inflammation in the joints, leading to pain, swelling, and stiffness, as well as other degenerative joint diseases like osteoarthritis. Ligaments. Ligaments are tough, fibrous bands of connective tissue that connect bones to each other and provide stability to joints. They are elastic and can stretch to some extent, but can be easily torn with excessive force. MSDs that affect ligaments include sprains, which are tears in the ligaments, often caused by sudden twisting or stretching movements. Tendons. Tendons are fibrous connective tissues that attach muscles to bones. They are strong and flexible, allowing for smooth and coordinated movements of the body. MSDs that affect tendons include tendinitis, which is inflammation of a tendon caused by repetitive motions or overuse, and tendon ruptures, which are tears in the tendon caused by sudden force or trauma. Bones are held together at joints by a variety of bonds, including fibrous, cartilaginous, and synovial. Fibrous joints are held together by tough, fibrous connective tissue and allow for limited movement, such as in the joints between the bones of the skull, suture. Muscles. Muscles are specialized tissues that enable movement and generate force in the body. They are composed of muscle fibers that are bundled together and surrounded by connective tissue. Muscles are attached to bones by tendons, and when they contract, they pull on the bone, causing movement. Fascia. Fascia is a connective tissue that surrounds and supports muscles, bones, and organs in the body. It is composed of collagen fibers and other proteins and can be found throughout the body, from the superficial layers of the skin to the deepest layers of the muscles. The spinal cord is a long, thin, tubular structure that is part of the central nervous system, CNS. It is located within the vertebral column and is protected by bone and ligament. Spinal nerve roots enter the spinal cord and convey either sensory or motor information. Sensory information enters through the dorsal root and motor information exits through the ventral root. The vertebral column is segmented into cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and sacral vertebrae and surrounds and protects the spinal cord. Blood is supplied to the spinal cord by spinal arteries, and it is also surrounded by cerebrospinal fluid contained within the pachymeninges. Each segmental region of the spinal cord innervates a specific region of the skin, muscle, or organ group. Damage to the spinal cord can result in partial or complete loss of function below the level of the injury. For example, if the spinal cord is injured at the level of the lumbar vertebrae, this could result in loss of sensation and motor function in the legs. Similarly, damage to the cervical vertebrae can result in loss of sensation and motor function in the arms and upper body. Skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscles are also known as voluntary muscles because they are under conscious control. They are attached to bones by tendons and are responsible for movement and stability in the body. Skeletal muscles are striated, which means they have a striped appearance under a microscope. Smooth muscle. Smooth muscles are involuntary muscles, which means they are not under conscious control. They are found in the walls of internal organs such as the stomach, intestines, and blood vessels, and they are responsible for involuntary movements such as peristalsis, wave-like contractions, and vasoconstriction, narrowing of blood vessels. Smooth muscles are not striated, which means they do not have a striped appearance under a microscope. Cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle is a specialized type of muscle found only in the heart. It is involuntary, like smooth muscle, but it has a striated appearance like skeletal muscle. Cardiac muscle is responsible for the contraction of the heart, which pumps blood throughout the body. There are different types of joints in the human body because each type of joint has unique properties and functions that allow it to perform specific movements and provide stability and support to the body. For example, ball and socket joints are found in the hip and shoulder and allow for a wide range of movement in multiple planes, while hinge joints in the knee and elbow allow for movement in only one plane. Ball and socket joint. Ball and socket joints are found in the hip and shoulder and allow for a wide range of movement in multiple planes. They consist of a ball-shaped end of one bone fitting into a cup-shaped socket of another bone. Ellipsoid joint. Ellipsoid joints are found in the wrist and allow for movement in multiple planes, but with some restriction. They consist of an oval-shaped end of one bone fitting into an elliptical-shaped socket of another bone. Pivot joint. Pivot joints are found in the neck and allow for rotation around a central axis. They consist of a ring-like structure that fits around a pivot-like structure of another bone. Hinge joint. Hinge joints are found in the knee and elbow and allow for movement in only one plane, like the opening and closing of a door. They consist of a convex surface of one bone fitting into a concave surface of another bone. Saddle joint. Saddle joints are found in the thumb and allow for a wide range of movement in multiple planes. They consist of two saddle-shaped surfaces that fit together. Thank you for listening.